All right, beautiful people, we're starting off laying down. So allow yourself to get nice and comfy. Take your time. And then once you have your back nice and spread out on the floor, your arms and legs soft, then it should feel really nice and natural to deepen your breath. Inviting in big breaths of clean air, filling your lungs, puffing your belly out. And allow the exhales to be very strong. Long and slow, squeezing all the air out. Your rib cage compresses, your belly compresses. With your eyes closed, just take more time. Give yourself lots of generous time to adjust to being still and breathing deeply. You may notice tension in your body just from the day, and that's okay. Notice that with compassion and amusement, maybe. And then notice that with each breath, that tension melts away. All sense of doing just drops off of you into the floor. Just being here now. Watch the breath come in and out. Feel the sensations of your body and your environment right now. Pay attention to the details of this moment, including little thoughts that might come twittering and whirling around. That's okay. Acknowledge the thoughts. Bring your awareness back to noticing this moment. Breathing in. Breathing out. Continue breathing deeply, my friends. Keep your awareness on this moment. And we'll start to move a little bit. So reach your arms and legs out away from each other. Make your longest stretch possible. Like you just woke up and you're just feeling great and your fingers are reaching away from your toes. And as you breathe and enjoy this stretch, keep in mind that you want your neck to remain long. So you're moving your shoulders away from your ears, even though your hands are reaching up beyond your ears. The neck remains long. And that's something that we always want to think about in any yoga posture when the hands come up above your head. Okay, so take a big breath in here. With your exhale, bend your knees in towards your chest, grab your hands towards your shins or even the backs of your thighs, and move your forehead and your knees close together. Inhale, again, get long on the floor, stretch out. And exhale, pull your knees in, reach for your shins, forehead and knees toward each other. They might touch today, they might not. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl into a little ball. So we're building a little bit of warmth here. Okay, using your strong core and abs to help release any tension in your low back that you might have from your week, perhaps. Building warmth in your hips and shoulders. Let's do it 3 more times, okay? 2 more. One more, okay. Reach out long, pull it into that tiny ball, and let's hold here and breathe. If you need to release your head to the floor and take a break, then you can, and you'll just keep your knees squeezing in towards your chest, okay? But if you can keep that forehead moving up toward the knees, take 3 more breaths. Maybe let go of your hands and reach your hands towards your feet. Last breath. And then let it go. Uncurl yourself. Drop your head to the floor. Drop your hands to the floor. And even drop your feet to the floor. And step your feet kind of wide here. And we'll just windshield wiper the knees side to side. So we started out with a little bit of warmth there. All right, so we've got some warmth in the spine and the hips here. Okay, after a few windshield wipers, we'll bring it back to center. Windshield wipers feel nice. And then plant your feet next to your hips. And plant your hands next to your hips as well. Okay, take a look at your knees and put about a tennis ball of space between them. And then watch to be sure the space is still there as you engage your knees toward each other. So it's like you're holding an invisible tennis ball. Okay, you can bring your head back to the floor and look straight up here. Hold your invisible tennis ball between your knees. As you inhale, pick your tailbone up first and then peel one vertebra up at a time. And you would take your whole inhale to do this. It's so slow. Okay, you dig the hips as high as you like here, and then we'll just exhale, roll it down one vertebra at a time. Very slow. Okay, now let's do that a few more times. Hold your tennis ball, inhale, roll it up. And exhale, roll it down. Keep breathing. Now there's a lot to think about here, so keep checking in with your knee space. Okay, that engagement there. Check in with the nose pointing straight up so the back of your neck doesn't touch the floor. Let's do 3 more, coming up and down slowly. Let's do 2 more, as much control as you can use over that up and down. Last one, okay. Make this one nice and controlled. Pull those knees toward each other and let's hold it here, okay? And breathe. Now, if you need to take your hips down low or to the floor, you know that you can, okay? So you can always take that break. But do make the back of your neck really nice and long here. So you're looking directly up, your neck is long, your shoulder blades press into the floor. Now, maybe you'd like to take your hands a little closer to each other here. Maybe your fingers touch each other. Maybe you can interlace your fingers. And with that, try maybe scooting your whole entire shoulder blade up underneath your heart. So lifting your big chest off the ground, you can create this big open space in your chest across the front of your ribs. So wherever you are here, let's take one more breath in your big bridge pose, peeling open your front body, pulling those knees inward. And then come down slowly when you do. Release your hands with skill. Roll that spine down with control. Breathe all the way down. All right, when your hips land, bring your knees in and then tuck your hands behind them. And let's take a few rocks and rolls on the floor, okay? That bridge really worked your back body. And so let's massage it out on the floor here. Rock it up, roll it down. And maybe next time you rock up, let's hold there. Let's take a little boat pose break. Okay, so I love practicing boat pose with everyone because no matter who you are and where you are, there's always something to work on in your posture, in your boat pose. So keep in mind, you can drop your feet to the ground and just keep your upper body and your upper leg the same. You just drop your feet, okay? But you have a nice long spine, your belly button's drawing inward towards your spine, and your tailbone is pointed slightly forward underneath you. So you have this really strong base to lift your spine up and out of, okay? Modify by dropping your feet if you need to, but maybe here we can play around and get a little core strength going. So try this. With control, roll just your low back to the floor. Just your low back. Keep your head and shoulders and your legs lifted. You can drop your feet if you need to, though. And then see if you could keep breathing and slowly roll yourself back up to a boat pose. It's challenging. Let's try it again. Inhale, roll it back to a half boat. We can call this half boat. Low back on the floor. And exhale, roll it up to a full boat. Navasana. Let's take a few more. Use those feet if you need them, okay? You can even use your hands on the floor, and I'm showing you what that might look like, to put your hands on the floor and roll up and down. Wherever you are, friends, let's do 3 more. Core strength. Supporting your low back, supporting your posture, supporting your digestion. 1 more. Low back, roll down to that low back and hold right there. Hold and breathe. If you need to make it easier, bring your knees in and grab them. If you're okay with this challenge, just that low back on the floor, you can extend your knees completely and even reach your hands behind you for a hollow body hold. Wow, what a big challenge. Let's take 1 more breath here in your half boat. Whew. Exhale, roll yourself back up to your boat and drop your feet down in front of you. Okay, what a great core challenge. Go ahead and cross your ankles, roll over to hands and knees, and we'll meet here, friends. Let's do some wrist care, okay? Flip your palms up, facing you so your fingers point back at you. So you're pressing on the top of your hand, and you can do 1 hand at a time, or 2. And we're just gonna roll around on the top of the hand. It should always feel good, so make sure that it feels like a relief. Okay, you can roll back and forth on your knuckles a few times. Make sure you get all the sides. And then let's flip it over, palms down, fingers pointing back at you. And from here, you can roll your hips back and forward, kind of peeling your hands up. Should feel really, really nice in your forearms. Okay, let's bring it back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes here and lift your hips up in the air. We're gonna bend the knees generously, walk your hands back to your feet. Take a little time just to hang here, hang your head, whoa. Sway your upper body side to side like a pendulum. Okay, feel the weight of your upper body just hanging heavily in traction. And your low back is this cord that's holding your upper body and attaching it to your lower body. So it's under such extreme compression and weight all the time. So it's really great for us to just hang it like this. Okay, that being said, let's move around a little bit. So palms peel up off the ground. Go ahead and press into your heels. We're going to inhale and roll it up. So roll yourself all the way up to standing. Push down into those feet. Lift your heart nice and high here. Maybe a teensy back bend as you look up at your fingers. And then exhale, hinging at your hips. Fold yourself in half. You're coming down to a forward fold. On your inhale, look halfway up, unrolling your spine, looking forward. Maybe put some extra weight in your toes, maybe bending your knees. And with your exhale, fold at the hips. Okay, grab and hug your legs close. Palms are down here. Inhale and walk it forward to a plank. Okay, we're just gonna keep flowing a little bit here. You can use your knees in your plank or not. Okay, but with your exhale, lower your chest all the way to the floor slowly. Inhale here, pull back on your hands, point your tailbone at the center of the earth and lift your heart up a little bit or a lot. Really up to you, Cobra. And then exhale here, press yourself up to downward facing dog. Now walk it out a little bit here and then walk your feet all the way to your hands. So walk up to those hands and again, hang a little bit here. Okay, but this time, pick up your left foot and cross it behind your right foot and then put it down. So your knees are crossed, okay? So bend those knees and take a little time just to hang. Okay, walk your hands over to the right a little bit. Getting a side stretch. Walk your hands over to the left a little bit. Notice how that feels in your legs and your back. Nice, bring it back to center. Go ahead and step the left foot back underneath your left hip. And then again, inhale, roll yourself up. Push into your strong feet. Lift that heart, maybe a little bitty back bend as you look up at your hands. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, bring it all the way down. Just like we did before, inhale halfway up. Unroll your spine to look forward. And exhale, hug your legs, fold. Palms are down here. Inhale and step your feet back to a plank. Remember, you can use your knees down in your plank. And then exhale, slowly lower yourself down. Control it. Cobra on your inhale. So peel that heart up as you pull back on your hands. And then exhale. Downward facing dog. Shake it out for a moment. We're going to do it one more time just to get the joints warm, get everything moving. So walk your hands back to your feet again. Okay. Hang and fold. And this time, pick up the right foot, cross it behind the left, put it down. So bend those knees, hang here in this crossed knee, forward fold. And then try walking your hands out to the left here. Get that side stretch on the right hip, right low back. Let that head really hang here. And then switch it to the other side. Walk your hands over to the right and press into your feet. Okay, bring the hands back to center. Pick up the right foot, put it back underneath your right hip. And again, push into your heels, roll yourself up, just like we did before. Pushing down into your feet, your heart lifts. Look up at your hands, maybe a tiny back bend while you do that. And exhale, hinging your hips all the way down. Fold. Halfway up on your inhale, look forward. And exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it deeply. Palms are down, walk them forward as you inhale to your plank. Maybe use your knees, maybe not. And exhale, lower yourself to the floor, control it. Cobra on your inhale, peel your heart up, pull back. And downward facing dog on your exhale, come on up and back. Walk it out here. And then one more time, walk your feet to your hands and then hold it here. Bend your knees, hang your upper body softly over your thighs. Here, go ahead and join your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers and move them away from your heart. Let your head hang. Shake it out. Notice the fronts of the shoulders opening up. Let your heart rate come down if it got up while we warmed up. Should be nice and warm now. Okay, release your hands here. Okay, fingertips on the ground, just long enough for you to put your big toes together. Okay, you can leave a little space between your heels, but bend your knees here, drop your hips, and take a big breath in. Sweep your hands up to a chair squat and hold it right here. Just to talk about chair squat for a moment, you want to think about your spine being just about parallel with your shins. Okay, your tailbone needs to point down and your belly button needs to move inward. And then you can think of looking up at your hands. How low you bring your hips is up to you. You can make it easier by lifting, harder by lowering. Okay, so that's chair. We're going to spend some time in it, so I wanted to be clear. Okay, take a big breath in here. Look up at the sky. And with your exhale, put your hands together. Drop down nice and low. And take that left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Now, I won't hold you here for that long. Okay, I know it's quite a challenge, so lift those hips if you need a break. But check out your knees. Notice how they kind of want to point to the right, okay? Make them point straight forward, side by side. Now, visualize this before we do it. We're going to step the left foot back to a lunge. Let's try it. Visualize it first. Visualize the left foot stepping back to a lunge. And now we're going to do it in 3, 2, and 1. Step the left foot back into a lunge. Hold, take a big breath in, and a big exhale. Now we're going to come back in the way we came, okay? Back out the way we came in. Visualize the left foot stepping forward to the squat before it happens. And now we're going to do it in 3, 2, and 1. Left foot steps forward. It's okay if it didn't work. Hold and breathe. Big breath in. Big exhale. Nice, okay? If you stuck with that, your legs are nice and warm. Inhale here. Untwist, unchair yourself. Reach your hands up. Maybe a teensy back bend as you look at your hands. And exhale here, hinging, folding all the way down. Halfway up on your inhale, look forward. Big fold as you exhale. Palms are down. Inhale to your plank. Exhale all the way down to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, walk it out here in down dog for a moment or two. Pressing the heels down, pressing the palms down. And then walk your feet all the way to your hands. All right, take a moment here. Let your head shake it out. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And maybe the different way this time. The different thumb goes on top. The one that feels a little bit awkward. Okay, do that one and move the hands away from you. Breathe into your shoulders and your neck. Move the shoulder blades away from your ears. Let your head hang lazily. What a great massage for the shoulders and the chest here. Okay, release your hands. Fingertips to the floor, just enough that you can put those big toes touching, perhaps a space between your heels, preparing for chair squat. So drop your hips, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep your hands up, chair squat, Utkatasana. Okay, make sure all the finer points are there. You've got the knees drawing toward each other, the tailbone points down, the heart is lifting, okay? And then as you're ready, big breath in, looking up, creating length in your spine. And as you exhale, put your hands together and drop nice and low. Take the right elbow to the outer left knee and hold. Make sure your knees are pointed forward, okay, side by side. Stay on top of them. They'll be a little bit mischievous. So we're going to visualize before it happens, the right foot stepping back to a lunge. Visualize it. And now let's go in 3, 2, and 1. The right foot steps back to a lunge. Hold and breathe, looking to the left. Big breath in. Big exhale. And now let's visualize the right foot coming forward to meet the left. Visualize it. And then let's go in 3, 2, and 1. Step the right foot forward. Hold and breathe. Breathe in. And breathe out. Very nice. Okay, inhaling here. Come up and out of this. Stand up straight and tall. Push down into your heels. Lift your heart. Maybe incorporate a tiny back bend to look up. And exhale, hinging your hips all the way down. Halfway up on the inhale. And a nice fold on the exhale. Hug your legs. Palms are down here. Inhale to your plank. And exhale all the way down. Inhale here, find your cobra. And exhale here, downward facing dog. Press it up and back. Okay. Walk out your downward facing dog here for a bit. We had some kind of dynamic standing postures there that were creating some nice heat in the legs, shoulders, back, hips. And so hopefully your downward facing dog feels a bit more free. Maybe you can drop the heels a little lower. Maybe engage your quadriceps to lift your kneecaps. And think of pulling the elbows inward so that your heart sinks lower and pulls further back. Breathe here. Downward facing dog seems so simple when you first look at it, right? But there's so much to think about. So always check in constantly with your alignment in downward facing dog. As you are ready, beautiful people, go ahead and walk to your hands again. Take your feet a bit wide, however, with the toes turned out and the heels in. And then let's drop the hips nice and low. And I want you to take your time. Sometimes they're not going to go down right away, and that's okay. So no rush here. You can keep your hands on the floor or even your elbows on your knees, okay, as long as you need to. But eventually, see if you could allow the hips to come down quite low, but still hovering off the floor, so that you could put your palms together and tuck your elbows inside of your knees. And then let's just take some time here. It's a fantastic hip opener, fantastic helper for your low back, kind of peeling open tension all around the low back. So put some press down into your feet. You want to engage the legs to gently push the floor away, right? Gently push the floor away. And then think of drawing your knees inward as your elbows try to push the knees away from each other. So create resistance for yourself. And we'll take a few more breaths, just enjoying this nice squat. Maybe for your last breath or two here, you try this little variation. Try moving your knees away from your arms out to the side as you push the floor down. Keep that spine long. Okay, go ahead and drop your hands out in front of you. Allow your hips to kind of relax and allow your head to drop too as you round your spine and allow it to just drape down toward the floor. Take a few breaths here. Breathing into the back body. Shake your head. And then walk your hands back up by your shoulders or underneath your shoulders. We're going to slowly press the hips away from the floor here. So take your time. Slowly press them up. And then from here, step whatever foot back will make sense for you to come sideways on your mat. So step one foot back and come sideways on your mat, okay? Step your feet nice and wide with the toes turned inward and the heels turned a bit out. And then walk the hands far enough away from your feet so that there's room for your spine to be long. So you're imagining that your body makes a table-like shape here. More of a sawhorse, actually. Okay, so in your sawhorse shape, make sure your belly button remains lifted because we're going to twist the spine. So we'll keep it nice and long. Okay, but first let's open up in the legs a little bit more by bending into one knee, dropping the hips in that direction. And also back. And then bending into the other knee. Drop the hips in that direction and back. So side to side like this. Keep breathing. As you move, beware of the spine curving in one direction. Do your best to keep it long. If the opening in the insides of your thighs feels nice and you want to kind of spice it up, you can flex your ankles and really lift your toes, lift your arches. Really activate your feet, and that'll get your legs even more release. Okay, come on back to center here, and then we'll start to move the spine. So the lower body is now going to be the stable thing here. And press into your left hand. Take a big breath in and reach up with your right. So you think of spiraling your chest up and open as you inhale. Okay, and then exhale. Bring that right hand down and reach underneath the left armpit as far as you can. So let's do it again. Inhale, reach it up. Spiral open. Exhale, right hand down. Reach under the left so far. So take a few more like this. You're just using this huge range of motion that your upper body has and exploring it. Using the strong muscles of your back to open up. And the strong muscles in your chest to reach under. So let's do maybe 3 more. Right arm up. Right arm down. 2 more. Up. And down. Last time, open it up. And let's hold here. Next time you reach the right arm up, hold and breathe. Okay, now let's enjoy this for a moment. Push into both your feet, push the floor away. Point that tailbone away from the top of your head and lift your belly button a little bit. And then could you strengthen both shoulders and move the right shoulder a little bit over on top of the left. Breathe here. Powerful twist. So the deeper we breathe, the better. Opening up space in the right side of the chest. Maybe one more big breath here. And then let it go. Drop the right hand underneath your right shoulder. And before we go to the other side, let's take a little break. Walk your hands back between your feet. And let your upper body just hang. Let the top of your head point down. Shake your head. Big, slow breaths. And if the top of your head touches the floor, you can walk your feet a little closer and give yourself the luxury of just hanging that upper body nice and long. All right, friends, walk yourselves back up and out of this. Back to that more tabletop-like fold, okay, where your hands are under your shoulders and your back is nice and flat to the floor. Okay, and now we'll ground into the right hand. So doing the opposite twist. Left hand up as you inhale. Think of twisting open your chest. And exhale. Twist the left arm to reach under the right. Use the muscles in your chest, reaching forward. Inhale, reaching up, using the muscles of your back. Now keep going. Find a natural rhythm for you. As you move, be aware of the strength of the legs being really consistent and stable. Notice that both shoulders stay strong, they're never passive. And that spine needs to remain really long all the time. So we're just using the spine as kind of a neutral axis to revolve around. Next time you reach up, hold it right there and breathe. Okay, strengthen that lower body, push the floor down, straighten that spine, lift the belly and look up. Okay, both shoulders active here. No soft shoulders. Big breaths into the left side of your chest. Okay, spreading open all that tissue. One more breath here in this big, deep twist. And then bring it down with the left hand. Go ahead and walk your hands again back between your feet. Maybe take your stance a little narrower if the top of your head touches the floor. And just let your upper body hang. You can walk your hands out, back, away, behind your feet. Or some people like to grab one calf in each hand and kind of hug the legs inward. So you decide what you like best. It'll take you a little deeper if you're hugging on your legs than if you have your hands on the floor. Make a few more breaths here, feeling nice length. We just really wrung out your spine. Let the head hang. From here, take your time, walking your hands back out away from where your feet are. Okay, and then from here, shimmy both feet in toward each other. And bend your knees and come down to a seat. And we'll stay long ways on the mat for now. Keep it long ways. And find a nice straddle, just something that works okay for you. Okay, and then you're gonna bend your right knee and pull your right foot in by your hips. So we can call this a half straddle, but it still kind of has the straddle idea because the knees are pointing out to the sides and we're not facing over one knee, right? Okay, so point those knees away from each other and tuck the right foot in very close to your hips, just as close as you can get it. Take your left hand to your right hip and take the right arm up here, and we have this really long shape all across the right side. So it feels good in your spine, hopefully good in your low back. Very important to ground that right hip. So you'll notice it's starting to try to come up already maybe. Keep it really grounded. So let's inhale here. We're going to think of reaching up high on the inhale in that right arm. Keep the right hip grounded because as you exhale, you're going to reach the right hand over to the left without letting that right hip leave the floor. So it doesn't matter how far you go. It's just about the length in the right side, okay? Inhale to reach up, ground that right hip. Exhale, right hand reaches to the left, lengthen right side. One more like that, big breath in, reach, ground, and exhale, reach to the left. Now let's hold and breathe here. Enjoying this right side stretch, okay? Now you can bring the left hand to the floor and support yourself here to kind of hold up your upper body if it feels like it's hard to hold the position, okay? You can also take your left elbow to your left knee or the floor. Okay, no matter where you are, for your next few breaths, maybe turn the right arm into a cactus and kind of peel the right side of your chest open to look up. Big breath into that right side, low back, outer hip, chest. So much opening. One more breath here. Okay, as you come up and out, use the right fingers on the floor to press the left side of the floor away from you. Okay, press yourself up. And let's pick up the right knee from here and just hug it in. You can use both your arms to hug it. And then that left arm is only going to hold the right leg. The right fingers will come behind you, and you can start to twist to look over your right shoulder. So remember to breathe deeply. Maybe close your eyes. Enjoy that same sense of the right hip being rooted into the floor to keep your spine long. And on your exhales, take advantage of the twist to strengthen your belly muscles. Inward on the exhale. Detoxifying your organs. Massaging your organs. One more breath here in your twist. Okay, then let that go. Once you're looking back over by your left foot again, you see we naturally want to drop this right knee. So let's just let that happen. And we'll just allow this to naturally turn into a fold. So you can ground your fingers on either side of that left leg. And keep in mind that if it's really hard to sit up straight here, or if it's hard to lean forward and you feel kind of like you're reaching, what you can try is try bending that left knee and lifting it up. And then it'll allow you the freedom to fold forward and release the back body. So consider that. Even if you can extend the left knee completely, put a little soft bend in it. But either way, start to move your heart towards your left toes. Take several breaths. There's no rush. Close your eyes. Think long spine inhales. Press the floor down with your legs on every exhale. So think of that gentle resistance against the floor with each exhale. And that'll give you your folding power. Long spine inhale. Press the floor away, exhale. You might eventually come down to your elbows here. Maybe the forehead comes to the shin, but there's no real right way. It all depends on the feelings in your back body, okay? From your right low back all the way across the backside of your left leg. Big release. Take a few more breaths here. Gently resist the floor with your legs and lengthen that spine. Take your time coming up and out of this. Okay, it feels so nice on the low back. Take your time peeling yourself up. And then we'll switch sides. So just take the right leg out to the side and we'll bend the left knee and pull the left knee in, or left foot in. So again, you're in this half straddle where your knees are pointed out to either side. Okay, and this time the right hand can come to the left hip and the left arm up. So now we're lengthening the left side. So it's important that we keep the left hip grounded and the torso long. So with your inhales, reach up tall through that left arm. Remember to keep your neck really long. And with your exhales, ground the left hip and reach just as far to the right as you need to feel pleasant release in the left side. Inhale, reach up, ground that hip. Exhale, reach to the right to lengthen the left side. We'll do it one more time. We'll hold, okay? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, ground the hip and reach to the right. And pause here and just breathe. You can close your eyes. So remember, you can drop the right hand to the floor to support your upper body if it's exhausting. You can drop the right elbow to the thigh, elbow to the floor. You decide. But keep grounding the left hip and maybe cactus the top arm, the left arm. And look at the ceiling under it. Feels nice here in the left side of the low back. Maybe one more really big breath here. And then let's come out slowly. Use the left fingers on the floor near that right foot, to right leg, to press yourself up. And then let's grab the left knee and hug it in to your chest. Okay, use just your right arm to hold that left leg. And then you can put your left fingers behind you to push the floor away. So take some time enjoying this twist. Remember to ground in your left hip especially, and feel your spine lengthen from there. Big inhales into your chest. Big exhales into your belly. One more breath here, enjoying this nice twist. And then untwist yourself. Let that left knee just fall to the floor and turn to face your right leg now. So we've come full circle all the way to this other fold. Drop your fingers around that right leg. Remember to lift the right knee if it's challenging to fold forward, okay? It just gives you that much more space. Remember to resist the floor with your legs gently. And then with each inhale, your heart lengthens towards your right toes. With each exhale, you resist the floor, and that's going to give you that freedom to fold when you give that just a little bit of activation. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, resist the floor. Might come down to your elbows today, maybe not. It doesn't really matter. Just tune into the back body opening up. Lengthen the back of your neck. Resist the floor. Try strengthening the top of the right leg, okay, to give you some extra power. You can use that right quadriceps, pulling the right kneecap towards your hip bone. Feels nice in this forward fold. Enjoy one more long, slow breath here. Releasing tension from your whole back body. From here, walk your hands back up and in by your feet. And then lean back on your hands just enough that you can take your feet together. So put the bottoms of your feet together, drop your knees out to the side. So you have this butterfly shape, okay? Baddha Konasana means bound angle pose. So you can have your feet where you like to put them. It's really very personal. Some people like their feet close. Some people like their feet far away from them. But do put your feet together. And then just like we folded over just before in that posture where we had one leg bent, the other leg straight, same thing. With your inhales, you're going to lengthen your spine past your feet, okay, as if you could. And then with your exhales, you're just going to push your feet into the ground. So you're going to gently resist the floor with your feet and your legs. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, gently resist the floor with your legs. You're just enough effort there. Okay. And you're just going to take some time, take several breaths, allowing your upper body to round and kind of drape over your bent legs. Now you might stay with your hands under your shoulders. You might come down to elbows, and you may even let your head drop towards your feet. But no matter where you are, it's all the same. Long spine, inhale. Legs push the floor on the exhale. So really helping out your low back here. Lots of spaciousness in the low back, in the hips, in the thighs. Take one more big breath here in Baddha Konasana. And start to walk your hands back, up and in by your feet. And then underneath your shoulders. And then keep walking your hands back here. We're going to see if we could slowly come all the way down to your elbows. And pause with your elbows underneath your shoulders. And you could keep your knees wide in your Baddha Konasana. If you need a break, you can, of course, bring them together and take your feet wide. But if you want to keep your feet together, go ahead and try that out. Drop your elbows into the floor and lift your heart here for a fish pose. So you want to think of extending and peeling your heart up and open. Okay, tuck your chin into your chest and let your head drop toward the ground. Press that heart up. Push the elbows down. Then tuck that chin. Should feel really nice in the fronts of your shoulders and in your chest. All right, think of extending your spine upward and open, peeling out any more tension in your heart, in your throat. Maybe one more big breath here in your fish pose. As you're ready, pull your chin back in towards your chest, move your elbows out from underneath you, and come all the way down to your back. Okay, you can straighten out your legs, flop your arms down by your sides, and rest. Okay, you made it. Let go of controlling your breath or your body here. Just let everything be. Let the breath return to a natural, effortless pace. Let your body return to natural, effortless ease. Allow your jaw, your eyeballs to be soft. Continue to let your awareness rest on your breath here and the sensations in your body that are happening right now. Pay attention to all the details of this moment. Notice the overall climate of your body in this place, in this moment. Emotional, mental, physical. Notice it all in detail and keep paying attention for minute details. Allow yourself to be fully present right here, right now. Breathing in. Breathing out. So please keep resting just like this, my friends, for as long as you can. The longer the better. This is where I'll leave you for our practice today. Thanks so much for joining me.